Hello, I'm Ali.
And I'm her best friend, Em.
This is She Said, She Said.
Join us for our ritual Wednesday evening glass of wine as we talk about the highs and lows of life as two foreign ladies living in France.
Think of this as the group chat you actually want to be on, where we talk about all the plates we're spinning and occasionally dropping.
We'll also give you the best tips we've learned from over a decade living among the Frenchies.
C'est parti! Hey, Emma.
Hey, Ali, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Very well. Yeah, we're recording this kind of a different time of the week due to our hectic schedules. So kind of Sunday morning vibes in my house. Had a coffee, made some crepes. Very French of us.
I have a coffee, although mine is cold, which is just very normal in my house as well.
So classic life. Yeah, that's one of the points of going to work, right? To drink a warm coffee.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my points sending the kids to school. Like when they're gone, I'm just like, okay, where is that coffee of mine?
So we've got a newish format to the start of the show. We were going to do our show and tell because I brought this over from the UK to any lovely listeners joining us right now on this first episode. Firstly, where have you been? Secondly, go and listen to all the other episodes after this one. Thirdly, my name is Em. I'm from the UK.
My name is Ali. I'm German.
Yes, and we are besties living in France. So we're trying to bring all the coolness from both countries into this podcast, all the best bits from all three countries. And so one of the best things Britain has to offer is this segment called Show and Tell.
I love it.
Which we used to do in schools. And yeah, we kind of the kids basically could just bring in an object, talk about a trip, that kind of thing. So we're going to do a little show and tell. Do you want to do it today?
Yeah, I'll do it today.
Yeah, go on.
I just thought about this because I sent it over to my mom, who loves the topic, and it's about mental health. And so I read this article in the German magazine Die Zeit about mental health and the fact that we talk about it more. And they found out that talking about mental health more, everyone thought that was going to raise awareness and help people, feel accepted, and that is a part of it. But they actually found out that it also leads to more people thinking that they're mentally unwell. More people wanting diagnoses for it. And so this is also true for awareness programs in school. So they did a comparison of a group of students who were, had classes about mental health, depression, schizophrenia, ADHD, and that stuff. And they compared after, a couple of weeks, compared that group to a different group who did not talk about these issues, but were asked constantly, like, how do you feel today? How, what's your, kind of inner reflection on your well-being? And yeah, so they found out that talking about it as much might also lead to people thinking that they need diagnoses for things that researchers say, and that a researcher said in the article, are just very normal. It's not great, but you feeling sad at times and feeling down and then feeling up again is just normal life. And that the more we talk about, you can't concentrate, do you also always lose your keys in your house? And do you also do that? I mean, social media contributes to this loads, right?
Yeah.
But people tend to think, wow, something is actually wrong with me. And then they try to find diagnoses where people today, researchers and experts, say what young generations need most is just accepting that sometimes you might just not feel that great, or sometimes you're not at the top of your game concerning concentration, or it's the normal cycle. And so yeah, thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is really interesting. And especially because it's such a respected publication, for them to do a bit of a deep dive into that. It's super interesting. I suppose, it's difficult, isn't it? Because you don't want to minimize how someone's feeling at all. And it's definitely a good thing that we kind of recognize these mental health issues and there's more support around them. But it's true, maybe if you're just having a bit of a bad day and then you say to yourself, oh my God, I'm depressed, or...
Exactly. They say even the words that we use, using the word trauma all the time, or using depression, or normal emotional states of being is taking away the importance for people who do have trouble with it, whose lives are impacted by it in a quite, strong way.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, yeah.
there's like some psychologists, some psychiatrists in the interviewed for the article, and they say that for them, that is the problem. It's already difficult to get a therapy when you have mental health issues. And now if everyone who just thinks they have mental health issues comes and wants to be in therapy, then they have less time for the ones who really need it. So it's just asking, maybe ask yourself first, could it be normal? Do I really need help? Am I suffering? Then I need help.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Super interesting. Well, that does segue quite nicely into the topic we wanted to talk about today. Well done. You're such a pro. Today we wanted to talk about hormones.
Yes.
Big topic.
And it is the perfect day because today is one of those days. It's the weekend, I don't have much on. I should have a chill day at home. It's not nice outside, but there's loads of ways to make it nice and cozy inside. And I just feel sad and irritable
Oh,
and
oh.
tired. Yeah, I just woke up feeling sad and just being like, I just said to my husband, like, I don't feel it today. I don't want to face the day really. And the thing is, I know why. It's not the stuff that's happening around me. It's because it's the worst phase of the month. It's
Ah,
PMS, and I hate it.
like the pre-period
Mm,
stage.
yes.
Okay.
Premenstrual syndrome.
Yeah, yeah. I get that. Sometimes if you're in that space, there's just no way of getting out of it. No amount of nice things, nice snacks,
Oh,
not
yeah,
not
a nice snack, I'll manage to have that voice in my head just being like, "That's not good for you." I'll just like, "No, I can't even do that." So I feel like I'm this remote controlled robot that is still seeing themselves from outside and feeling guilty and shit about being annoyed and sad. That makes it worse. It's like a downward spiral.
just wanna give you a hug. Opened our notes for this episode and the first line I had written is, "I feel sad, irritable, and tired." Like, "Oh, no!" This is gonna be a fun podcast.
The thing is, I am this remote controlled robot, but it's hormones. Hormones are controlling me. And that does help accepting it. It does help me just be like, okay, don't have too big expectations right now. Your life isn't bad. It really isn't. I don't have any reason to feel sad and shit. But hormones are playing a trick on me and they are dropping. And that is basically my body understanding that there is no pregnancy, which I should be very grateful for. But I am not. I'm not annoyed at my husband. I'm like on edge with my kids. They're noisy and I'm irritated when they touch me and I say something and I'm like, okay, come on, try and keep it together. I'm just shouting anyway. And I was like, what happened? What is happening with me? So yeah, it's that kind of phase.
I think you're in that phase. I listened to a really interesting podcast. It was a woman called Maisie Hill. She's a menstrual health expert, I think she says she is. It was on Jamila Jamil's I Weigh podcast. I don't know if she's really well known in France or in Germany. She's a
No,
British
I don't think so.
actress, I think she is, but she's quite an activist as well.
Mhm.
Anyway, what this woman Maisie Hill was saying is that, well, she took it quite far actually. She'd emailed Jamila before the podcast and said, "Can we change the date of the podcast recording because I'm going to be in a certain stage of my menstrual cycle and I'm not going to feel extroverted." And I thought,
Oh,
wow,
cool.
going to that
Mm.
level to arrange your work around your menstrual cycle is
Yeah,
crazy. But
yeah.
actually, it kind of makes sense. You probably could have done without recording the podcast today. You probably in 5 days will feel better about recording it. But
Probably would have. It does help to just push me a little bit, be like, come on, it'll feel good
yeah,
afterwards. But yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know if you know a lot about your menstrual cycle now.
I just have to look it up again, 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 and again, right? Why am I feeling like that? At what moment do I feel like that? Like, what do they say?
So she says it's kind of broken up into 4 phases. She uses more scientific terms, but I think she also uses the seasons, which I find it easier to get behind and remember. So she says the first phase is this is the first day of your period, is the winter phase. So this is kind of when you're feeling tired, inward focused, sensitive, craving rest and comfort. So this will be you in like a few days. So this is when you need to lower your expectations of productivity. So maybe this is when she'd said she'd record the podcast. This is kind of like the plan, reviewing, brainstorming gently phase.
Okay.
That's nice. Then the
Yes.
second phase is springtime.
Mm-hmm.
This is when your estrogen rises, your estrogen hormone, and you're feeling motivated, creative, curious, optimistic. So this is a brainstorming meetings time, creative sessions time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's the
Yeah.
second phase. The third phase, like 14 days into your cycle, this is when your egg is released.
Okay.
So I can tell you're feeling sexy.
I was there in Paris. I remember when we were in Paris, I was there.
Yes,
I
true.
was like, "Yay, life is great."
Life is good. This is your summer phase. This
Yeah.
is where you're feeling collaborative. You could do presentations, networking, use your high energy to advance. I
Okay.
think that's really good to know. If you
Yeah, it
know
is
what
good
stage of
to
your
know.
cycle you're in, you're like, this is the moment I need to be like creative. I've got it.
True.
And the last phase, so this is day 18 to 28, quite a long phase. It's autumn. So it's kind of the phase where your body is preparing for a possible pregnancy. Or not. So you're focused and productive at first, then more introspective and
Yeah.
irritable.
They, like, slowly go down, right? Then slowly, like, from autumn, hormone levels slowly go down
Yeah,
until the phase that I'm in where the body has understood no pregnancy, no need for all of this.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool to know. I'm
Mhm.
actually going to try and start tracking my period a bit better. I
Yeah.
feel like you're better at knowing this. I had no idea about my cycle until I started trying to get pregnant.
Did you, because it didn't work, and so you needed to know what phase, like, would work better, is that why?
No, I mean, I'm sure I learned it at school. That's for sure in biology, but I just didn't care. I don't think.
Yeah.
I
It's like with
just,
everything, if you don't talk about it regularly, then you forget about it, right?
yeah. It was more just to like speed through to pregnancy to know exactly when the
Oh.
deed needed to be done to just kind of make things work. And like you say, now you're not feeling great, but you know why. That is sometimes just knowing why really
Yeah.
helps, isn't it?
And I don't know if, it's just because I have more time now to think about it. I definitely growing up had friends who told me, like, PMS is really, really, really hard for me, and the type of person who would really just be like, "Those 2 days, I'd rather not see anyone."
Wow.
Not loads of people, but yeah, one of my best friends definitely. And I don't know if it's true, but it feels like I am either feeling it more or is getting more as I'm getting older.
Same.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Same.
I really feel like the phase where I'm irritable and tired, and, autumn is a long season for me.
Yeah. I didn't actually look if that's kind of related to the next phase of our lives that we're careering towards, which I suppose
Dreading.
is perimenopause. Yay.
I feel like I can still pretend that it's not going to happen to me, although I very much know it is.
I do think it might happen, but maybe not yet. Yeah. It's kind of around 40 for a lot of people, isn't it? But it can be earlier sometimes. Oh boy. I did have a quick look
Mm.
actually at what is coming our way. Do you want
What's
to
coming? What's coming? Hit me.
do you want to know?
Yeah.
It's so long.
Probably the best moment to hear all about that.
Sorry. So, perimenopause can feel like puberty in reverse. Are you ready for how it can feel? I think hormonally is when estrogen is just kind of fluctuating, isn't it? The
Mhm.
female hormone and progesterone hormone is dropping. So they're the two kind of hormones that regulate our moods and
Cycle.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what may happen. Not for everybody. Don't want to be a bearer of bad news, but this is what my research said. Anxiety, irritability, no low moods, brain fog, forgetfulness, lower stress tolerance, loss of motivational confidence, irregular, heavier, lighter periods, hot flushes, night sweats, weight changes, bloating, joint pain, headaches, fatigue, change in libido, sleep disturbances, increased sensitivity to caffeine, alcohol, stress, skin or hair changes, vaginal dryness and discomfort. What do you choose off this menu?
Wow. It's only that, is it?
Is there anything that's not on there? Let's
Is there anything positive coming from it?
I don't know. Well, this is hormonally,
Yeah.
so and I suppose and hope that in this period of our lives will also come a kind of deeper sense of knowing ourselves, etc., with age. That's not a symptom, though, I suppose, that you can put on a list, is it?
No, it isn't, but yeah, it doesn't make me want to get older. Already seen as aging isn't the easiest part when you're in your late 30s or early 40s. But
Yeah, I always thought was excited for the menopause because I just thought, oh, my periods are going to stop.
mm, it's not only that, is it? It's a bit too, that's oversimplified for what it is being in menopause.
Very oversimplified because I used to have painful
Yeah.
periods. And I think you said Spain has brought in menstrual leave.
Yeah, Spain's brought in menstrual leave in 2023, but the problem with it apparently is, I saw a year on, only, I don't know, 1,000 women or something like that had taken it in a whole year. It's 2 or 3 days of paid leave for when you're menstruating, and it's supposed to be for people who have, like, really heavy periods, and they say it's probably linked to it being quite stigmatized, and
Yeah.
so, you'd have to come up to someone and be like, "Okay, I'm gone because I'm gone for my period," and I think while it is a good step forward, it is a step forward into a society where it's acknowledged that women are being discriminized.
Discriminated against.
Women are being discriminated against. It goes quite quickly for a society that isn't talking about men and women aren't talking about female health. Women are talking about it, I think, and women are
Yeah,
talking about it
yeah,
more and more. But are
yeah.
men and women talking about it? Can you imagine just a politician being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like I forgot this word because I'm like in a really shit phase of my cycle right now," and or just like I don't know. A couple of years ago, when it was Angela Merkel, the chancellor in Germany, would she be able to cancel something because of where she was in her menopause or perimenopause? She's probably
Yeah.
menopause. But you know what I mean? Like, if it's not part of the bigger conversation that a society is having, women are talking about it. And I'm telling myself, as it was with pregnancy and other phases that were quite difficult, or even parenting now, that does help having your female friends be in the same phase. So I hope I'm not going to be quicker in that phase than all of my friends again. We will need that support, I think.
Yeah.
But we need the support of men as well.
That's so true. I hadn't thought about it that way because it's true that if you have a day off that's paid, that's great. But yeah, asking for that, if your boss is male, I cannot imagine saying to one of my male colleagues at the moment, I can't make that meeting, I'm on my period. But
Yeah.
maybe some people could, I just couldn't say
Yeah.
it. It would
Yeah.
identify me as like a woman of childbearing age, which is stupid and it shouldn't be like that.
Mm.
But that's the reality of my job at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, honestly, I was throwing up, passing out. I had like temperature
Oh.
during my period. I did have to go home once and I did tell our old boss when we were both working together. I said, I need to go home. I can't be here, basically. I don't feel good. And what did he say?
Did he ask something about you being pregnant?
No, luckily he didn't. But he said, something like kids these days aren't as hardy as they used to be or something like that. And I just said, oh no, actually I've got a really heavy period.
Oh, yeah. Was he like, "Oh, okay, right, go then."
He was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, of course. Like, bless him. I mean, he was a
Yeah.
really nice guy and this was 10 years ago. Things have
Mm.
changed hopefully quite a lot since then.
So hormones, the little messengers in our bodies controlling everything.
Yes.
It's not only female hormones, right? There's other hormones. And I feel like one specifically that I have learned about in social media, because once you start looking it up or once you stay on one post that someone talks about, it just comes back and back and back. And it's cortisol, it's the
Okay.
stress hormone.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think a lot of content that you can consume right now makes you believe that you can completely control cortisol. So keep your stress levels down and feel better generally, probably. So that
Yeah.
because cortisol is linked to putting on weight and feeling anxious and all of that, but it is actually, you have a very, and this is men and women alike, you have a very normal fluctuation of cortisol over the day.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you have like a peak in the morning, sorry, where you wake up and then again it gets up. So, but it is well done. It is so that you can get ready and for the day you have energy for the day and all, and then kind of slowly goes down in the day. I think it definitely fluctuates like all of the hormones. What it does feel like a lot of content you can consume is oversimplified. So people think they can change their diet completely. I read an article where health journalists are basically saying it's often wrong and oversimplified, and don't go taking their supplements, people will want to sell you. And so don't go take any supplements without consulting a doctor and making sure it's for you. You can test hormone levels in your
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
So, there's even doctors, endocrinologists, I think they're specific doctors for hormones. So I think if you're in doubt, then you need to refer to a doctor, definitely.
I agree. I think it can be quite stressful when when you read into hormones because all of the people saying hormone imbalance will cause X, Y, Z. It's really bad for you if you've got lots of cortisol. Honestly, in modern life, the ways to balance a lot of these hormones that they say is eat a healthy diet. Okay, we can make a good effort towards that. But then sleep and lack of stress are the two other things that, loads of people say. And honestly, at
Yeah.
this point in my life, I have little control over those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes you sometimes feel a bit like, "Okay, great. Love all of that advice, but I don't have an impact on, like, the stress at my work or even the way I feel about it," right? I
Yeah.
can't. You can try, and on the days that you're not in, I don't know, yeah, go to bed earlier, stop your ticky-tocky time. Cut that ticky-tocky
If I
time.
must.
For anyone who hasn't listened to the episode on social media, Emma scrolls at night until she falls asleep, and she calls it ticky-tocky time, and she should do less of it probably if you feel stressed. This is only if you need to change something. Obviously, if you don't feel stressed about it and you sleep well, then there you go. That's what you need.
I don't know if the ticky-tacky time is the problem, to be honest. That's not the thing causing the
Yeah,
stress. I
yeah,
probably need to eliminate quite a few things before the ticky-tacky time. But,
yeah. Like, as in, like, have a glass of water before you have your coffee in the morning and that stuff, right?
yeah, 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 that kind of thing. Well, more, I think stress at work, you can maybe put a lid on it. Well, not always put a lid on, but you have maybe a bit more control over that sometimes. But I
Yeah.
feel like stress from your kids or your family, how can you control that? What you were you telling me about your kids yesterday, just kicking you under the table?
Oh, it made me we were having dinner, and I just kept on saying, like, "You're so loud. Can everyone please stop speaking so loudly and making so much noise?" And, and then they kept on kicking me under the table, and I really couldn't. I had to get out of the room for a minute and just breathe and just be like, "Okay, it's not their fault. It's not their fault. I am feeling it, irritated and annoyed." But yeah, it's so much I obviously cannot control that. I can control, trying not to be with them that much in that moment because, I mean, I kinda have to preserve them as well, right?
Yeah, true. Preserve everyone's cortisol spikes by removing yourself from the
I'm a
situation.
monster coming out of me. Please protect your family. Protect them from the
Get
you
out
know?
at all costs. Yeah.
Mm,
So cortisol is an important one, and
yeah,
yeah, like you said, I think you can control as much as you can control. One other
yeah.
one that I was gonna talk about is testosterone, because I was actually chatting to my boyfriend about this one. And he's quite into kind of sports and endurance sports and that kind of thing, and he was saying that recently, loads of French, probably not fitness in terms of kind of looking good, but more, more really like endurance sports influencers, they're all talking about how to increase your testosterone. That's like the thing at the moment.
How do you increase your testosterone?
Well, they were saying it's kind of the same things as for stress as well. So it's eating well, it's sleeping well,
They
working out.
probably give you, like, specific foods you should eat for
Yes,
testosterone
yeah,
and
yeah.
that stuff, right?
Lots of protein. They're like really on the protein for that one.
Yeah.
But what I think is really interesting is testosterone has been decreasing. So these studies from the US and Europe across the population since the 70s. So men now have less testosterone, and year on year it's going down. Which is kind of crazy, isn't it? And
Hmm,
it's not even just in old guys, it's in younger guys too. So it's not really age related, because I think it does go down with age. And I think that's quite serious too, because it is linked
yeah,
to quite a lot of different things, not just being like a man and, beating your
yeah.
chest. I don't know, whatever you'd link to.
It's also about health issues like cardiovascular
Yeah,
diseases
yeah,
and muscle mass and that stuff, right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting to look at testosterone like that. Women need
Okay.
testosterone too. That's what I was finding out. We
Well,
need
what do we need it for?
We need it for kind of the same things as guys, but we need it a lot for our sexual drive and being
Ugh,
sexually active. That
not surprised.
so we need testosterone too. Maybe we should eat lots of protein and uh,
We
sleep
should.
well.
We
Sounds
should.
sounds great. Let's go and have a go, let's go to bed at 9 p.m.
I have a new watch, and my watch is basically for running, and the watch tells you how well you slept, and this week, one day, it just said you had a very, very bad night. I was like, "Oh, that doesn't help. I already feel tired. You don't have to tell me I've had a bad night." I think I'm gonna go take it off at night because I'm just like, I know how I slept when I get up in the morning. I don't need anyone telling me.
Yeah, I feel like those tweaks are maybe for someone who is more in control of of their sleep and those kind of factors. But yeah.
I mean, my sleep could have been linked to hormonal levels also. right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. It
Yeah.
affects your sleep and everything.
Mhm. Yeah, it
That's
does.
yeah. Whoa.
And did you know that even the environment, like light pollution and other factors of environment, are thought to have quite an impact on your hormonal levels?
Really? So if you have a really bright light in your face, like I have now to look nice on the podcast.
You would probably have to have it over a quite long period of time, but at least it suggests that it influences your hormone levels.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's
As
crazy.
does the season. I mean, we were talking about seasons to compare to the menstrual cycle, the 4 weeks of the menstrual cycle, but apparently they've found out in studies that specific hormones are also stronger in different seasons. So according to temperature and light, our hormones in our bodies will vary as well.
Wow.
Yeah,
This
yep,
is
yep.
crazy.
Well,
We're just mammals, aren't we?
we are. At the end of
We're
the day, we're just mammals.
we're just mammals.
Mammals with social media.
Yeah. That's the problem. Maybe that's a good point to end on. Good
Yeah.
conclusion is we are all mammals.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
Someone's been upping their testosterone.
Oh,
Well, we hope if you're in the winter phase of your cycle, if you're a lady or if you're, I don't know, do men have a cycle? Are they just
they're supposed to have one, I think, but I didn't. I was doing so much research on women's cycles that I didn't have time for men's cycles. If there is a big demand on it, I feel like we could maybe do the podcast, All Things Men, instead of
okay?
All Things
Yeah.
Hormones.
Yeah. We can do he said.
She said something about he.
About me. Love it. Catchy. But it was lovely to catch up. I hope you're feeling a
Yeah,
bit better soon. I feel
I
like some
will.
chocolate will help you.
This did make me feel better. It's just the
Yes.
hormones. I'm
Just
not
write it
being
out.
weird. Yep.
Well, thanks for joining us, lovely listeners.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
this episode of She Said, She Said. We will catch you again next week. Same time, same place.
Bye.